We're joined now by Democratic Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland. Senator, thanks so much for your time tonight. Now, earlier tonight, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer outlined the schedule for the full Senate impeachment trial, now set to begin the week of February 8th. That gives about 2 weeks to focus on improving President Biden's cabinet picks and getting started on his agenda. How much can the Senate get done in that time, and any concerns from you on that schedule?
Well, Lindsay, it's good to be with you. It really depends upon the cooperation between the Democrats and Republicans. President Biden needs to have his cabinet confirmed by the United States Senate. He needs to have that done as quickly as possible. We only have 2 confirmed cabinet positions now. We'll take up, I think, 2 early next week. But we really need to take up as many as possible so that we have the full team in place to deal with these national issues, from the pandemic to the economy to national security. So I hope that we'll use those 2 weeks. In the meantime, it's appropriate to give the president, the former president, opportunity to present his defense, his counsels to be appointed. The 2 weeks is a reasonable period of time for proper preparation for the trial by both the managers and President Trump's lawyers.
Now, today, President Biden focused on the economy and his $1.9 trillion pandemic relief bill. But there seems to be little appetite among Republicans to support such a large bill, even if they do back some of the components. We saw how difficult it was to pass a comprehensive bill in the fall. So given the urgent needs of Americans, would it be more effective to break this bill up and try to quickly pass targeted measures that both sides can agree upon?
Well, I think we have to take up a comprehensive bill. The American people need this. It's not whether it's the Democrats or Republicans. This is a bill that's got to get done. We have a crisis in the distribution of vaccines in America. We need the federal government to be more aggressive in helping the states in the distribution of the vaccines. We know that our state and local governments need additional help. Small businesses need additional help. American families are hurting, and this will help our economy, will help all of us. So I think we have to act according to the need, and the need is great.
And Republicans have been criticized for decrying the high price tag of President Biden's proposal, despite them supporting trillions in spending and in tax cuts under President Trump. But other than calling out the apparent hypocrisy, is there anything you can do to change the fact that many Republicans have turned into essentially deficit hawks again and likely won't support a bill of this size?
When we look at the specific provisions, I think we're going to get Republican support. It's hard to believe that they don't recognize the needs that are out there in our community. The economists all agree that during this type of an economic challenge, you need to be able to put money into the economy. It helps us all, and helps us deal with the deficit by getting our economy out of this pandemic as quickly as possible.
And we also see President Biden trying to focus on measures to speed up the production and distribution of COVID vaccines. But many state officials are expressing frustration over the lack of doses right now. What's the single most important thing the federal government, do you think, could do at this moment to make sure more Americans are able to get the vaccine?
It's a great question. We need a national plan, and that plan needs to be understood. You need to get direct information from the federal government. We got to be consistent. And then we need to use every tool we have at the federal disposal, including the Defense Production Act, to make sure we have adequate supplies for the vaccines and for the protective equipment that we need in order to contain this virus. The states need to have a clear understanding as to how the distribution is going to be done, and they have to have the capacity, they have to have the personnel, they have to have the game plans so that communities are treated fairly. They have to have outreach in the underserved communities. So we need an overall strategy from the federal government and the resources to make sure it's carried out.
And lastly, you're part of a bipartisan group that's calling on Congress to affirm ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment, which has now secured enough states for passage. If Congress changes the deadline for ratification, what are the chances of this moving forward? And why is it important to happen decades after the amendment was first introduced?
Well, we had the states that have supported it. 38 states have already voted for the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment in the Constitution. The problem is Congress put a deadline on the ratification process. The Constitution does not provide for a deadline. So by passing this resolution, we believe we enable the 38 states that have already ratified the Equal Rights Amendment that it will become part of our Constitution. So it's an exciting moment. I think most Americans believe we already have an Equal Rights Amendment in the Constitution. We don't. So this is a time that we can really move forward and show the world that America is joining in making sure that we provide equal rights for women.
You know, a lot of people were feeling on Inauguration Day, perhaps there is hope. You know, there was so much talk about unity. Just curious to get your sense. You're actually inside the Capitol doing the work. Do you feel more hopeful at this point? Is there something that you're deciding, perhaps now things are going to be different?
Yes, I really do. I mean, I've had conversations with my Republican colleagues. I think they see a new beginning. We have an administration that wants to work with Congress, both Democrats and Republicans. They've identified the issues that we think we can address in Congress, and including getting COVID-19 under control, dealing with our economy, dealing with tough issues such as immigration. I think there's real hope among their colleagues that this Congress will be able to get down to business early, be able to work together. I know it's going to be a challenge. I know the nation's divided, but we know that President Biden understands the United States Senate. He understands the Congress, and we're excited to work with him.
All right. Well, we appreciate that optimism. And thank you so much for joining us, Senator Ben Cardin. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.